Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on the 26th of August, 2019, to talk about everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. And, excuse me, when looking at tonight's Monday Night Raw, I thought it was a okay show at best. I didn't think that this show was anything to really tout. It was just like, hey, we got some stuff to go forward for the pay-per-view, and that's really it. We learned of 2 more matches for King of the Ring next week based off of who has won so far, and we learned of 2 title matches for Clash of Champions. And King of the Ring, that ties into Clash of Champions too, because of the fact that Clash of Champions finals are going to be the King of the Ring finals are going to be at Clash of Champions. But before we talk about Raw, let's see who's with us in the live chat. We've got a Willie's Network. We've got a Gregory, George John Cox, Henry McKenna Cavallo, Steelers Respect, Kristen McNutt, Derek Bochek, Joe Decker, Jason Dalton. And if you're in the live chat and you see a couple people like our good friends Jason Dalton or Kristen McNutt, and you say, why are their names green? Why do they have little badges next to your name? And that is because they are PWUnlimited member subscribers. If you want to be a member subscriber, have a little badge next to your name, have your name in green, have the opportunity to use some cool emojis in the live chat, then all you have to do is go down where it says subscribe and hit the join button. For $4.99 a month, you can join in, become a member subscriber, and get a lot of cool perks. Also, with being a member subscriber, you will get early access to non-news content that does go up on the channel as well. Also, we will be doing probably one after this Wednesday night podcast, a post show. And the post shows are for member subscribers only. They never go public to non-members, and you guys get to help pick the topics. But, again, it really helps us out when you do that. Just hit that join button right down there next to the subscribe button and become a member today. So as far as Raw goes, Raw was, like I said, an okay show. Sasha Banks opened up the show, and she was channeling her inner AJ Lee. She was talking in the same dialect that AJ Lee would talk in, where she would drown out some of the words at the end of her sentence, and it was kind of bad. Like, I didn't really care for this. They went really meta here as far as just going full-on tell the truth, I guess, or whatever we think the truth is supposed to be, because she kicks it off. She hits the ring, and video package aired about what happened over the last 2 weeks, and Banks said that, yeah, I've been gone for 4 months. I've been minding my own business. She said, I've heard all the people talking about me. Crowd then chanted for Becky. She said people said that she threw a fit. And that's true. That she cried on the locker room floor at WrestleMania. That's true. That she took her ball and went home. And that is also true. Banks said that she was relegated to a tag team match at Mania, one that she didn't even care about or want to be in. She said I did this while Lynch got to main event against Ronda Rousey. And Banks said, I left, took a couple vacations with the pay that I've acquired. She noted that Lynch received a lot more pay at WrestleMania than she did because Becky was in the main event. Banks then said that I've decided to return and greeted my old friend Natalya and lied straight to her face. I told her that her dad would be proud of her. Not really. Banks called herself the standard of the women's division and talked of the division and said that she's the talk of the division and she deserves all the glory that she's been getting. And while she's doing this promo, she's talking like AJ Lee. She's like, I told Natalya that her father would be proud of her. And that's how AJ Lee did. I didn't do it quite as well as AJ because AJ was always a great promo. But Sasha was like channeling her inner AJ, and it was weird. So Natalya's music hits, and she sprints down to the ring with her elbow and arm all taped up and tackles Sasha on the outside. They brawl on the outside before officials come down to break it up. The women continue to brawl till finally they're separated. We learn that, we don't learn, we already know, but we're told that these women are going to face off, but not till later. And Banks didn't get much heat here for the promo. The crowd really didn't react much, if not at all. Live crowd did not like this. And yeah, I don't think Sasha, the way Sasha would pause when she would say things, like she was waiting for a certain reaction, and those certain reactions never happened, was awkward, just to say the least. So we go backstage, see the Street Profits. They were excited about Natalya and Banks later on tonight. They ran down tonight's card. Angelo Dawkins wondered what the hell a tag team turmoil was, so Montez said, "Give me the graphic. I'll tell you what it is." He explained the rules. Basically, it's a gauntlet match. They went on for a while, running down all the teams that will be involved, and then we go to the ring for the first of two King of the Ring matches. This one saw Drew McIntyre taking on Ricochet. Match went 12 to 13 minutes here, and this was the highlight of the show, as this was a great match between, like I said, Ricochet and Drew McIntyre. So Cole said this was a big opportunity for the man who believes he's a superhero, talking about Ricochet. Both men cut a pre-taped promo that they aired during their entrances. You can really tell that they were reading some bad verbiage here. Ricochet was first and said that he would consider McIntyre an immovable object, but he was willing to move him aside to climb to the top of the mountain. McIntyre said that he didn't care about the past winners of the King of the Ring, and he would exile all unworthy superstars from his kingdom when he is the king. Cole said, "We've learned that McIntyre has had problems with smaller guys in the past like Ricochet. Well, smaller guys in the past, Ricochet's size, like Cedric Alexander." So Ricochet, McIntyre grabbed Ricochet and threw him across the ring. McIntyre then blocked a head scissors takedown on the outside and drove him into the barricade and the ring apron. And then went to a commercial break about a minute or two into this match. Shortly after the break, Ricochet Ricochet mounted a comeback and hit a dive to the outside. McIntyre followed her with an inverted Alabama slam for a 2. McIntyre tried a running splash in the corner, but Ricochet actually caught him and carried him in the middle of the ring. Ricochet, yes, I said that, caught Drew McIntyre. Great spot here. McIntyre, though, counted and hit a suplex on Ricochet. Ricochet came back with a springboard clothesline and a shooting star press for a 2. McIntyre blocked an enziguri and knocked Ricochet from the ring. Ricochet leaped over the steel steps and came back with an enziguri. Ricochet tried a move off the steps, but McIntyre caught him with a headbutt, hard headbutt. Like Ricochet just, that's supposed to be a thud. Right down. Ricochet back in the ring. McIntyre set up for a Claymore kick, and Ricochet caught him with a super kick. Ricochet hit a few more kicks, but McIntyre came back with a big clothesline and set out powerbomb, only for a near fall. McIntyre then pushed Ricochet into the turnbuckle, but Ricochet bounced back and hit a code breaker. Ricochet would slowly climb to the top rope, hit the 630, and pin Drew McIntyre, advancing in the King of the Ring and eliminating McIntyre from the event, from the tournament, I mean. And that's crazy because most people, including myself, thought McIntyre should win. And I got a tweet here that I wanted to read. So I sent out a tweet that stated, "Wow, Ricochet advances in the King of the Ring, eliminating Drew McIntyre in the first round." Someone responds on Twitter and says, "So many people complaining about this. I don't really have a problem with it personally. If they have a problem with someone the size of Ricochet eliminating a Drew." And it's not that's not the problem of Ricochet, someone so small, beating McIntyre. I responded with, it has nothing to do with the size of Ricochet. People thought this would finally be the time where they would push McIntyre as a singles on the main roster. So everyone's saying, oh, they put the small guy over Drew McIntyre, they're burying him, and da-da-da-da-da. That's not it at all. I don't know why Ricochet picked up the win and McIntyre out. But it's not that people are upset because the smaller guy won. They're upset because they thought this was finally the time where McIntyre can step out and, get that start of a push on the main roster. And now that's not going to happen because he's out round 1. Nobody expected. I don't think anybody expected that. Chris McNutt with a super chat donation said, Tim, on BTE, they announced AEW Weekly Show on November, and they have every wrestling promotions run in Bojangles Coliseum with sell more tickets. So what she's asking, she's saying, today on Being the Elite, they announced the November 6th show of AEW on TNT will be in the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I think what she's trying to ask, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, Kristen, are you asking if they can sell more tickets than WWE in Charlotte? Because Clash of Champions is going to be in Charlotte on September 15th. Now, there's no possible way that AEW can outsell WWE in Charlotte because WWE is going to a 20,000-seat arena. AEW is going to a 9,600-seat arena. So even if WWE breaks 10,000, boom, they did better than AEW in Charlotte. And they can tout that if they wanted to. So if that is what you're asking, you said so about every wrestling promotion running in Bojangles. Now, WWE is not running in the Bojangles Coliseum. That's where AEW is running. WWE is running in, I have it written down right here, the Spectrum Center, which again, that's a 20,000-seat building. And the Bojangles Coliseum is only a 9,600-seat building. So either way, I see WWE outdrawing AEW in Charlotte, North Carolina. So going forward, Sarah Schreiber interviewed Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman backstage, and I just gotta say, okay, sorry for that. Punch the microphone. Okay, one second. I'm trying to say every wrestling promotion ran there before. Oh, she's asking if other promotions have ran in that building. I don't know. I can look it up and see, but I don't know if any other companies have run in the Bojangles Coliseum before. I know WWE, when they go to Spectrum. That's the big building. WWE always goes to the big building. And, excuse me. The Spectrum. Got it right here. Claudio says, who the fuck names these places? The people that sponsor them. They get a sponsorship for the building, and they just name them based off what the sponsors, like Bojangles. Bojangles is I want to say chicken place, chicken and biscuit place. Spectrum is a cable company. Just like here, we have the Save Mart Center. Save Mart is a grocery store chain. So that's where the names come from. Andre, yeah, WWE goes to Spectrum. But what Kristen is asking is, have other companies ran in the Bojangles Coliseum before, and what kind of numbers did they do? She wants to see like a comparison of what is expected in that building and what AEW could do. And the building's been around since the 50s. But I don't know. I mean, I would assume back in the day, NWA had to have ran there. I would assume. Here, I got you right here. So this says, Nelson, I don't miss a NASCAR race. Yes, I will be watching the Bojangles Southern 500 this coming Sunday night. So, Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. There's really no information on if other wrestling companies have ran there. I would assume maybe back in the day, like I said, the NWA may have because they ran Charlotte all the time. But I can't really find anything right now, like just looking really quick. But back to Raw. So people always complain that Raw can't be consistent week to week. Am I wrong? They'll say one thing on 1 week, and then next week they'll say something that completely 100% contradicts what they said the previous week. Well, tonight they couldn't be consistent hour to hour. So Sarah Schreiber is backstage, and she's interviewing Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman about winning the tag team championships last week. Remember this, last week. She said last week. Seth said last week. Braun said last week. And they're talking about, well, you guys are the tag team champions. Seth, you're the Universal Champion, and all titles will be defended at Clash of Champions. Who do you think will challenge you guys for the tag titles? And they didn't say anything because this was actually filmed last week, and they had no clue. They didn't know about the gauntlet match tonight or the tag team turmoil or whatever. And they're just, they tried to not say anything. And then Seth looks at Strowman and goes, So you're distracted by my other belt. Strowman says, well, who are you going to be defending the Universal title against at Clash of Champions? Rollins played dumb. And goes, why? You want the shot? And basically Braun just goes, yeah. Seth goes, all right. And basically Braun was just like, I challenge you with the Universal title on the line. And Seth says, okay, I accept. And then instantly, we're supposed to be under the impression this is a live segment. That this challenge is all going down live. But within 10 seconds of Seth saying, okay, I accept, they have a graphic. You put the graphic on about 5-10 minutes later. But here's the thing. So they're talking like they're live backstage. Talking about how last week they won the tag titles. Last week they beat Gallows and Anderson. And then the next hour, Michael Cole starts talking about how Braun's going to challenge for the United States Championship. And the Gallows and Anderson are barred from ringside tonight. And you don't have to bar Seth because Seth isn't even here tonight. What? Less than an hour and a half ago, Seth was quote-unquote backstage with Braun being interviewed by Sarah Schreiber. We know they can't be consistent week to week. But now when they can't be consistent hour to hour, that's just bullshit right there. That's just utter bullshit. So Cole said they would be defending the tag titles and, now this Universal title match. Pulling double duty. The first time that the tag team champions will be defending their titles on the same show that they fight each other for a world title. Young also noted, hey, if Strowman can beat AJ tonight, then he'll have a third match with the U.S. title on the line. And I'm like, or they can just do U.S. versus Universal for both. I digress. Inconsistency. But it's WWE. What do you expect? So we had the second of two King of the Ring matches. This one saw Baron Corbin taking on The Miz in a 10-minute match. Miz ran down his accomplishments over the last 13 years, stating that he's always been asked, you've done a lot in your career. What do you want to do next? And he said, win the King of the Ring. It's all I wanted to do. It's all I got left. And then he said, when I win, I'm going to be King Awesome. Corbin comes down, hits a clothesline, and they go to break. About 2 minutes into the match. Corbin stalled at the beginning, when he comes down, hits that clothesline, blah, blah, blah. It's a Corbin match. There's nothing to talk about in this match. Miz hit a backbreaker, neckbreaker combo. Didn't look good. Crowd chanted for Miz as he followed up some mitt kicks, running knees in the corner, and an axe handle for a 2. Corbin came back with a deep 6 for a 2. Miz countered a chokeslam into a roll-up for a 2, then hit a DDT for a near fall. Corbin used a schoolboy for a 2, then Miz hit the skull-crushing finale for another near fall. Miz missed a springboard move, and Corbin hit the end of days to pin The Miz. So Baron Corbin will be advancing in the King of the Ring. Baron Corbin will be taking on Cedric Alexander next week in the second round. And earlier in the night, we saw Ricochet win. He will be going up against his old foe, Samoa Joe. So after the match, Baron Corbin went up to the chair, to the throne, I guess you can call it, put on the crown, said the fans, they don't care about him. And he doesn't care about them. He said when he showed up to the building today, he was asked about some quote-unquote internet poll where nobody thought that he would win the tournament and that they didn't want to see him win this tournament. He said that he can't wait to win King of the Ring and then tell them, all hail King Corbin. And please don't do that. Don't take that away from Booker. How iconic was it with Sharmell? All hail King Booker! If you do the all hail King Corbin, no. Joe Decker, I did watch last week's Straight Up Steve Austin with the guy from Impractical Jokers, but that's the only episode I've seen. No. Henry Mechanical Value says Corbin mic skills is just big yikes. No, I think Corbin's, he's pretty good on the mic. I don't think he's bad. So backstage, Gallows and Anderson complained to Caleb Braxton about how unfair it is that Rollins and Strowman just quote-unquote got a tag title shot last week out of thin air, out of nowhere, but they have to win a basically tag team turmoil to get their rematch. Anderson said they would prove whether they're the official, the only, and the what is it that they say? They are the only. No, there's three things they say. The official. Fuck it. The official, the only club that matters. Something like that. Some stupid ass verbiage. I don't even know why I'm bothering. They say that they're gonna show why they're the only club that matters. Blah blah blah. Michael Cole talked about NXT going to the USA Network. They showed a bunch of screenshots of tweets. Triple H, John Cena, everybody in the company basically congratulating. Then they had a clip of Rey Mysterio and Dominic from last week, and they announced that Rey Mysterio returns next Monday. That's what it is. Thank you, Stephen Florence. The original. No, I said original. What one was I missing? That's what it is. The official. Or the original, the official, the only club that matters. That's what it is. The original, official, only. When to be honest, the original club, yeah, Anderson was in the original club, kinda, but the original club was Finn, or Prince Devitt, Tama Tonga, Bad Luck Fale, and then Anderson got added. So yeah, Anderson was in the original club, but this ain't no original club. Anyways. SmackDown Live Women's Champion taking on one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Bayley versus Nikki Cross. 4-minute match. It was all right. Nothing bad happened here. They went back and forth until Bayley hit her vertical suplex and a flying elbow drop for a clean pinfall. Two worked well together. Again, match only went about 4 minutes. Alexa Bliss was nowhere to be seen. Not really sure what's going on with that. Actually, I may have... Give me a moment, and I could look at something here that I have. So, Nikki Cross, they're alone. No Alexa Bliss, nowhere to be seen. They did the whole thing about how, she's doing Alexa's bidding again. She's fighting for Alexa. Alexa can't fight her own battles, but what battle is this that Alexa had to fight against Bayley? This is just a random match on Raw. So then we got 8-team tag team turmoil. First match goes 1 minute, 17 seconds. Viking Raiders won with the Viking experience on Bo Dallas defeating the B team. Next match goes 1 minute, 12 seconds. Viking Raiders, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, they brawl on the outside. Referee calls for the double disqualification. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did the bell ever even ring? If so, then how is this a fucking disqualification? And if the bell rang, shouldn't it have been a double countout? I don't get that at all. Calling this a double DQ. Yeah, they don't want to beat either team. But I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. So, double disqualification means both teams out. That's it. Done. 2 new teams come down. We had Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, Lince Dorado, Grand Metalik, Kalisto at ringside. And I didn't get a time on that one, but Ziggler caught Metalik with a super kick off the ropes, quick pinfall. The Revival come out for a 5-minute match. Ziggler tagged out and was still in the ring way longer than the 5 count. Referee not doing his job here. Rude gave Scott Dawson a glorious DDT for the pinfall. Again, match only went about 5 minutes. Dawson had an unfortunate wedgie, which I guess was bad enough that the screen went black for a second. Out then came Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. This one's super quick. Match started during the break. It was almost over immediately when we came back from the break. Ziggler gave Ryder a super kick and pinned him. Then, out would come Heavy Machinery. And this match goes about 5.5 minutes. Referee rang the bell for the match. And as Ziggler and Rude both were on the outside of the ring, Tucker runs out, attacks them both, and we go into the ring, and Tucker gives Dolph, he lifts up Dolph for a delayed vertical suplex. And he's doing this at one point with one hand as he goes over and tags Otis. So Otis gets in the ring, and they, cool spot, they trade Dolph. They hand Dolph over, never taking him out of the vertical suplex position. Otis holds him up there for another about 30 seconds, 45 seconds before dropping him. Great looking spot. Like, it was great. So Rude then dropped down the top rope, and Tucker fell out of the ring. Rude proceeded to drive him into the barricade and the steel steps on the outside. Back in the ring, Tucker ducked a stinger splash attempt and tagged in Otis. Otis squashed Ziggler in the corner and gave Rude a spinning slam. Otis did the caterpillar on Ziggler, then slammed Rude for a 2 count. Otis held up Rude for a compactor, but Ziggler super kicked Tucker, then gave Otis a zigzag off the top of Tucker. Rude then gave Tucker a glorious DDT and pinned him, winning and moving on to Clash of Champions to challenge for the tag team titles. So we have 2 brand new random ass tag teams fighting for the tag team titles of Clash of Champions. Cool. Why couldn't this have been the Revival? Why couldn't this have been Heavy Machinery? You know what I wanted to see personally was the damn Viking Raiders against Rollins and Braun. That would have been good. But if given the right time, if given the right, what's the word I'm looking for, opportunity, Rude and Ziggler could be a damn good team, a hell of a team. Sinclair Saturday says call them the Glorious Show-Offs. Not a bad name at all. So the thing aired a very long recap of the Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Rowan stuff. And yes, I said Rowan twice because there's apparently 2 Rowans. And yep, that was the potty break. So then, we got the announcement that, hey, Ronda Rousey is joining Total Divas. If you haven't heard, the new season of Total Divas starts on October 2nd. Yes, show is moving to Wednesdays. They are adding back Carmella, so Carmella's rejoining the team, which means we may see some Corey Graves on that show. Sonya Deville is being added to the team, and we all know why. And for some weird, odd reason, Ronda Rousey, after she has publicly mocked the women on those kinds of shows. So then we get Sasha Banks and Natalya. And Sasha Banks comes down, and you hear Michael Cole have to yell, "It's boss time!" Why the fuck does he have to do that? Excuse me. So early on in the match, Natalya dodged a baseball slide attempt and drove Banks into the barricade and hit consecutive vertical suplexes on the mat. Back in the ring, Natalya countered Banks again and hit a huge, I wouldn't even call this a German suplex. I would call this a German throw. She threw Sasha Banks like halfway, if not 3/4 of the way across the damn ring. Natalya tried to grab Banks, and Banks slid out of the ring and drove Natalya's arm into the ring post. Banks then tossed her into a leather chair into the post again. Natalya avoided a double knee strike and applied a schoolgirl for 2. Banks slipped out of a sharpshooter attempt and hit a backbreaker into backstabber, actually it's called, to a crossface. As Natalya crawled towards the ropes, Banks grabbed the bad arm, the wrapped-up arm of Natalya, and wrapped it around her neck, forcing Natty to tap out. Sasha Banks wins. She goes to leave, and then she says, yeah, let's do this again. Puts her back in the Banks statement, crossface, whatever you want to call it. And she's smiling the whole time doing it. Heel Sasha Banks. Very, very heel Sasha Banks here. And yeah, Henry, you're right. Crowd really don't care about Sasha. They really don't. They really, really don't. So backstage, AJ Styles told Kayla Braxton that the LC were screwed out of their tag team match earlier, out of the turmoil. And that people were doubting him against Braun Strowman. Styles wasn't intimidated by the big man. Styles said that he would beat Strowman all by himself and then give him what he deserved. Nothing. Then we got a random 10-11 minute match here. Cedric Alexander against Cesaro. They traded strikes. Cesaro killed Alexander with an uppercut as he attempted a suicide dive. Cesaro then hit a gut-wrench slam and slowed things down with a chin lock. Alexander came back and quickly hit a slingshot flatliner, flip dive, and a springboard clothesline for a 2. During the break, Cesaro smashed Alexander's knee against the ring, like the video boards, on the side of the ring. Then after that, he drove him like knee calf first into the side of the ring, like right on the apron, the quote-unquote hardest part of the ring. After commercial break, Alexander came back with an enziguri. He hoisted up Cesaro while selling the leg and hit a Michinoku driver for a 2. Alexander went to the top, but Cesaro kicked his leg out and then hit a superplex off the middle rope. Cesaro caught Alexander's leg and initially applied a cloverleaf, but turned it into a half crab. Alexander countered into a victory roll, but only got a 2. He then hit a back elbow, and he tried a handspring, but couldn't quite get it because he was selling the leg. Cesaro caught him in an ankle lock. Alexander then fought him off and caught him with a lumbar check for the pinfall victory. Good little match here. I thought everything was very solid. Probably the second best match of the night. I'll still have to say that Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre was the best match of the night. So then WWE congratulated themselves, saying that last week they were the most socially talked about show on television. Even more talked about than Monday Night Football. Well, yeah, you got to go socially. You can't go ratings-wise. They got killed by Monday Night Football. They then aired clips of the 24/7 title changing hands over the weekend at the Fox Sports Founders event. Showed Elias losing the title to Truth. Truth losing the title to Fox Sports analyst Rob Stone. Rob Stone, this was funny. So Rob Stone, so if you didn't see this, they're in like the NFL studio, and Truth gets tripped. And Rob Stone goes, hey, we need a medic over here. And then he like lays on top of him and goes to pin Truth. He goes, never mind, I want a referee. So the referee counts 1, 2, 3. Rob Stone's got the belt. He's like, yeah, I just won the belt, 24/7 champion. And he gets rolled up by Elias. Elias pins him, runs out, takes the title, and Truth goes, I probably don't have this verbatim, but Truth's like, hey, you see how hard it is to be the champ? And he's like, yeah, I do. Really funny. They also showed Drake Maverick trying to chase Truth around. Truth threw him in a dunk tank. Cute. But Elias, still 24/7 champion. And for everyone saying, where was Elias tonight? He's a SmackDown superstar. He'll be on SmackDown tomorrow, most likely. Tony Matterson says, should have lost it to Skip Bayless. That would have been funny. Actually, that would have been real funny. So, Sheriff Schreiber interviewed Ziggler and Rude. They were excited to be a team. Ziggler also thought that the Universal title match wouldn't happen. This was weird. Dolph's like, those two guys are going to have to fight each other before they even fight us because the Universal title match is going to go on before our tag title match because we're the superstars. And I'm like, what? Braun versus Seth probably the fucking main event. He then called them, like I said, the real main eventers. And Rude said, "They're glorious." So Montez Ford talked about Raw, but Angelo Dawkins was distracted, thinking they're at the after party on Bourbon Street. Ford and Dawkins suddenly stopped talking when they saw Strowman. He began walking towards the ring. They looked dumb here. Strowman was just standing in the corner and only started moving when he got his cue. Like, you could tell he was told, action, go. Street Profits had to react as though Strowman wasn't standing there the whole time waiting for them. And my question was, why couldn't the Street Profits have been in that tag match earlier, that gauntlet? I get it, they don't want to beat them, but you could do something cool with them. There's got to be a way that they finally get them to frickin' wrestle on TV. Whether that's after they lose the NXT tag titles on TV in a couple weeks or not, we'll see. They then aired a basically best of Firefly Funhouse. I don't know why or what the reasoning was, but hey, it's cool. We then got our main event, U.S. title match. AJ Styles versus Braun Strowman. Match went about 10-11 minutes. Strowman immediately sent Styles to the outside and ran him over twice with shoulder tackles. Styles caught him with a kick and a forearm back in the ring. Strowman caught him with a choke slam for a near fall. Styles got to his feet, or got his foot on the ropes when Braun tried to go for the pin. Strowman then booted Styles from the ring, and they went to a break about a minute and a half into the match. After the break, long break, final break of the night, Strowman had his hands on Styles, but Styles slipped into a sleeper. And the crowd started chanting the back and forth kind of chants. It was, AJ Styles, get these hands. AJ Styles, get these hands. So Styles avoided a big boot and he chop blocked Strowman. Styles hit a forearm to the back of Strowman's neck. He then hit a lion salt for a 2. Styles followed with another forearm to the neck and then applied a calf crusher. Strowman sold it like you'd see everyone else sell the move. Not like a big man would sell this move, which is really weird. Strowman then just got up on his knees eventually, slammed Styles. It's like, if you could just get up like that, then why would you sell the move like a damn normal person? If you could just Hulk out of it. Strowman then tried a power slam, but his leg sort of gave out. He tried to charge, but Styles moved, and he went shoulder first into the post. Styles then shoved Strowman into the referee, who fell to the outside. Styles racked Strowman's eye as the referee was down and kicked him right in the balls. And Michael Cole goes, back on SmackDown, AJ Styles made a career of getting hit in the balls. Now, or getting low blowed. Now, he's using it to his benefit. I'm like, what? Good one. Good one, Michael Cole. Way to inform us that AJ spent a year getting hit in the nuts. Styles then grabbed a steel chair and hit Strowman in the back with it. He tried again, but Strowman ducked and hit a power slam. Referee still down. Gallows and Anderson would run down and attack him. Strowman fought them off with a chair. With the chair in his hand, the referee started to stir. The referee stood up, and as the referee was standing up, AJ fell. Pulled the old Eddie Guerrero, pretending like he was knocked out. So the referee, according to Michael Cole, which, how the fuck does Michael Cole know what the referee can hear? But he said the referee heard the chair shot. And so after he, quote unquote, heard the chair shot, he looked at AJ laying there, presumably knocked out, looked up at Braun with the chair and said, disqualified. You used that chair, disqualified. So now, referee's discretion is what they hear. I thought it was always supposed to be what they see. Referee has to see it happen. No. They can hear it happen. So the referee can be laying at ringside. 3 minutes later, stand up and go, hey, I heard that chair get used. Looks like he used it on him. I'm going to just call it. I don't know. I know people are going to say, well, that's how they did it with Eddie back in the day. I know. But it's just like, it's 2019. That gimmick doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't. So Strowman gets disqualified. He goes nuts. Tried to plead his case. Referee's like, I don't believe you. I'm calling the DQ. Crowd starts booing. So Strowman handed out power slams to all three men, and he posed above all of them as the show went off the air. And that, my friends, was Monday Night Raw. Just an okay show with two good matches. Like I said, Cedric and Cesaro was good. And I really, really enjoyed McIntyre and what can I think of it? McIntyre and Ricochet. I really enjoyed that match as well. But now, I want to hear from you guys. What you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. If you guys do want to call into the show, you can do so at 559-475-8473. Again, you can call in at 559-475-8473. We do have a call right here. Caller in the air, what's going on?
Hey, this is from #WrestleB Club. So, 2 questions for you, short ones.
Go for it.
So, do you think that when they introduce JoJo, well, if they will, do you think that she might come back as Sister Abigail?
Highly, highly doubt it.
Okay. And one last one.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on... Wait, hold on real quick. What are your thoughts on the video game 2K19 or 2K20?
To be honest, I barely played 2K19, and 2K20 maybe looks like it's got a couple new things, but nothing that's really enticing me. I don't even think we're going to feature it on the channel this year, because last year we did a couple videos with the game, and nobody really cared. So why waste our time and money on the game when, you know, people, at least our followers, aren't really that interested in it?
Yeah. Well, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, not a problem. Thanks for the call and have a great night.
Okay, you too.
Looking at the text messages here. These are all old text messages, actually. Let's take a call. If Skype will answer. There we go. Nope. Skype did not want to answer. Let's try this one. Caller in the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, how you doing, man? This is JD.
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm working right now. Hey, man, I thought the show was all over the place.
That's for sure.
What are they doing? What are they doing with Drew, man? What the fuck?
Your guess is as good as mine, because I thought King of the Ring was the perfect time to finally, you know, elevate him. And now he got beat in the first round.
Yeah, I agree. Dude, yeah, man, where do they go with him now? I mean, he's got to be frustrated. I know I would be, because look at him, man. He's built like a champ. He looks like a champ. He talks like a champ. I mean, they're just, oh my God, they're wasting talent. I mean, gentlemen, oh my Lord.
You ask, where does he go now? He goes to SmackDown.
Yeah.
He goes to SmackDown tomorrow with Shane McMahon, probably.
Oh Jesus. Let's not do that angle again, please, 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 no.
Who knows? I'm as baffled as you. I'm as baffled as you are.
Dude, I mean, okay, then you have, I mean, don't get me wrong, that was a good match. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I love the match.
But it was like, come on. And then they put The Miz and Bobby Roode together. Okay, 2 awesome single competitor wrestlers.
Wait.
Now they just made
Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode.
Oh, who did I say?
You said Miz.
Oh, whoops, my bad.
No problem.
It makes the entire tag team division look like chumps. They put these 2 guys together, and boom, they walk through damn near the entire fucking tag team roster.
And did you hear how they tried to justify that?
Somewhat. Something along. All right, you go ahead. You get this one.
Basically, Michael Cole said about 3 times, you know, Bobby Roode, he's a tag team wrestling expert, so he's in here really doing a lot of the tag team stuff for his team. Like, how does that matter. The two guys have never teamed together. That's what we're supposed to believe. It's guys that have the chemistry of working together for a long time.
Yeah, Bobby Roode was an awesome tag team wrestler in TNA.
Yeah.
What were they, Beer Money?
Beer Money, him and James
Am I
Storm.
mistaken?
But WWE can't get Storm now. He's signed to the NWA.
Yeah, look what they're doing with Storm. Storm, the champ, bro.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, but, okay, what was the other thing I wanted to hint on just real quick? Shit. So, fucked up with Drew. They caught the OCs. Excuse my language, but I mean, I just don't get what's going on. It was just so inconsistent tonight. I don't know, man. Tonight was just, for me, I think it was maybe a 4, maybe a 4 today. I just thought today was just a horrible show, man.
I'd give it a 5 just because of the McIntyre Ricochet match and the Cedric Alexander Cesaro match. I thought those two matches were really good, but other than that, everything else, just like you said, seemed all over the place.
God, Lord. Man. Okay, I'm going to ask one question real quick.
Okay.
And I'm going to get my butt back to work. But I heard something along the lines that AEW is doing like a pre-show the week before on USA.
Not USA.
I mean, TNT. Yeah, TNT. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah. So they're going to be doing a couple of these. I don't know if it's Friday night or sometime on Saturday. They're going to be doing like a little like, hey, this is what you can see if you get all out on pay-per-view. They're doing that this week. But then the week, I don't know the exact date, whether it's the week before or a couple days before October 2nd, but they will be airing a special about All Elite Wrestling saying, hey, this is what this company's all about. This is what they've done so far. This is what you can expect going forward every Wednesday night. So they will be airing a special on TNT, kind of a get to know the company kind of thing.
Awesome. I knew I heard something along the lines. I just wasn't positive. I figured I'd ask you.
I just haven't heard the actual date.
Huh. So, who's your match of the night at AEW?
That's a tough one because I would have gone Moxley Omega probably, like what I would expect. But now it's
That's
Omega.
What I would have done.
Now it's Omega Pac, which could still be an amazing match.
Which it will be.
Right. Then I would have said, okay, no Moxley Omega, go the ladder match. But Phoenix is hurt. Phoenix got hurt twice this past weekend. So we don't know what his condition is going into that match. So for all we know, best match of the night, Jericho and Hangman. I mean, those two guys are going to try their hardest to put on a hell of a title match in the first ever world title match for the company.
Chris Jericho always tries to steal the show anyways. I mean, that's just who he's been and what he's always done. I'm really excited for this weekend. I got a couple buddies coming on over.
Nice.
I already bought me a couple steaks, and I already got those bad boys marinating. But Tim, hey, man, I want to say you're doing an awesome job, bro. I want you to keep up the good work, man. JD out.
All right, thanks for the call. Have a great night.
You too, brother.
All right, just looking at the text messages here. This person here says, with Drew losing, could we see Drew winning the Royal Rumble next year? I'm not going to even try to predict that. Because I honestly thought Drew should have won the King of the Ring. I'm not even going to say I think he should win the Rumble because he's probably not going to win the Rumble. This person here says, I think this is Kristen McNutt. Bojangles Coliseum been held in NWA Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling in the 1970s and 1990s. WCW held tons of stuff there, including 10th anniversary of Starrcade. Yeah, like I said, I had seen that, the NWA and a bunch of others have ran there, but I didn't see anything as far as, because I think you were asking, like, how well have other companies done ticket-wise, and I couldn't find any of that out. But let's take one final call before we do wrap everything up. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
I'm okay. Hear me?
Yes, I can.
Maybe a couple quick questions. First
Go for it.
I really didn't watch much Raw tonight because I was watching the Video Music Awards on MTV.
Okay.
But I may sound crazy this, but is there any chance in the near future we might get a fatal four-way match for both Raw SmackDown Women's Championship between Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Sasha Banks? I think that would be a great match. And you think that might happen in the near future?
You're asking with both titles on the line?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Oh, man, how come? I think I may sound crazy, but I think that would be a great match, but why is that, you know?
They just did the double title thing at Mania. I don't see them doing it again this quickly.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of wondering. That's all. But, hey, as for the women's tag team championships, I think that kind of joke. You don't get much TV time with them, but at least with Bayley and Sasha Banks, with the tag team champions, they get a little time on TV with them. But now, whoever holds them don't get much TV time with them. I think they're kind of a joke.
Actually, in the short time that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross have been the champions, they've actually been on TV, not defending the titles, but been on TV with the belts and, you know, being called the champs and stuff more than Sasha and Bayley were. The Iconics, a little bit, but I think they're at least letting us, you know, reminding us, hey, these two women are the champions. They're doing a good job with Alexa and Nikki. Nikki Cross was on the show tonight facing off against Bayley. So I think they're getting adequate time. Yeah, they should be defending the titles more. We should have been building up towards Clash of Champions instead of just doing the random match we got tonight. But I think they're doing an okay job with Nikki and Alexa as the champions and saying, hey, these women are the champions. They're working really well together. They're a really good tag team, and let's see what they can do going forward.
I understand. I appreciate that, brother. Thanks, anyway. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for the call, and have a great night. So just looking at the chat and the text messages before we do wrap things up. Henry, I've been wondering the same thing. He says, how's Pac going to compete with a hole in his leg? So if you're unaware, a couple weeks back, maybe a month or so ago, Pac was wrestling in the UK, and I don't know how the injury occurred, but he ended up with like a shotgun-sized hole in his quad. And he's now wrestling it all out. I don't know if it's healed already or if they've got some way to keep it clean and fine, and I just don't know. It's weird. Sinclair Saturday says, hey, Tim, what do you think about Johnny Morrison and his wife Taya on being the Elite today? Taya is still signed with Impact and getting signed by AEW. So I saw that and thought that was very interesting because we've seen, you know, on being the Elite, cameos from people not signed to the company, but they're like quick, especially if they're signed to other companies. There's something really quick. But this was like a 2-minute segment, and they were featured. I don't know Taya's contract status with Impact right now. But Morrison, he's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants. I know that he's taking a little time off. He's weighing some options. And we'll see what happens. I think from what I've heard, he may be waiting for his wife to be available. So we'll see. It was very interesting how much they focused on them today. And not just oh, hey, look, it's Johnny Morrison and Taya on being the Elite really quick. They actually were featured in a full segment. But we'll see. I think he would do wonders in All Elite Wrestling. Last thing here. 269 in the text message says, would AEW get a wrestling game? Asking if they would get a video game. According to Nick Jackson, they're getting a video game. On last week's episode of Being the Elite, they did the BTE mailbag, which I don't think they did on this week's episode, actually. But anyways, they did the BTE mailbag last week, and Nick was asked, will AEW ever get a video game? Nick didn't say too much other than, yep. So who knows? Maybe they go work with Ukes, the old developers of the WWE game. But with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who did watch us live, joined us live here for Monday Night Raw. Everybody who watched later right here on YouTube, or everybody who listened on podcast services all around the world like iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We'll be live tomorrow night following SmackDown Live. So with that, have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.